Welcome to Coding with the Hub, episode 2. In this series, we are developing Alfresco extensions coming from real questions from the Alfresco Hub. We are focusing today on Share extension in this video, removing a page element depending on a given condition. Alfresco Share application is using two different projects to build web pages, FreeMarker and iCow. Both projects rely on a Spring Surf framework that defines the page structure and provides extensibility features. Alfresco official documentation, available in docs.alfresco.com, provides additional details on Surf extension modules. The structure of a Surf extension module may include XML, FreeMarker, and JavaScript files. Every module can be deployed in Alfresco Share application as an independent feature, and then they can be packaged by using the Alfresco Maven SDK. When extending Surf pages, a number of XML, FTL, and FreeMarker and JS JavaScript files need to be adopted. Details for a Surf page structure can be also found in Alfresco documentation. Part of the Share UI is developed using this approach, since there are also some parts of the application based in the iCow framework. iCow pages are simpler than Surf pages, since only some JavaScript and XML configuration is required. The structure of an iCow page is described in Alfresco documentation, including the view part based in JavaScript widgets composition and the service part that is built using Dojo AMD packages. Services are HTTP requests getting information from the repository, so the widgets in the UI page can be populated. In addition to the extension mechanisms, that allows to include, modify, or remove elements from a page, both Surf and iCow pages can be created from scratch. However, since we are working with an extension of this Share header menu page in this video, you should review this tutorial from Alfresco documentation that includes detailed steps on this kind of Alfresco extension process. We are focusing today on a Share application extension to hide the site members link on a site header for users that are not part of the Alfresco administrators group. The first step should be to identify if we need to extend a Surf page or an iCow page. From the site dashboard, Surf Back tool can be enabled in order to inspect all the FreeMarker elements present in the page. So we are accessing to this URL, we are enabling the Surf back, and if we go back again to the page, we can see like these different FreeMarker elements on the page. We can see all the details of the FreeMarker elements, and also we can see that site members is not part of the FreeMarker pages. So we can disable Surf back again. We have the regular page, and since site members link is not part of a Surf page, we can use the client debug mode for iCow to identify the element name we want to extend, the technical name. To enable debug menu in Share, just deploy a Share configuration extension with the client debug flag set to true. After that, you will be able to access to debug menu from the menu bar in the top. Let's review now on that developer view the name of the element, and we can see that this is the widget ID. So with that, we can identify the element we want to extend. So once we know the widget ID is header site members, we need to identify the iCal page containing that widget. There are different methods to get that information, but searching in share source code may be the easier one. So yes, let's move to that. Let's search the hide site members in this repository. And we can see that this widget is included in that page. Since this is an import iCal page, not the one including the JSON model, we need to find the original iCal page we want to modify. So we can go back to the header section, and we can see that this page that is importing the share header lib.js is the one containing the JSON model for the page. So we found that the target page is org/alfresco/share/header/share header get.js. With that information, the widget ID, header site members, and the iCal page location, we have enough details to start coding our extension. To code this extension, we are going to use again the Alfresco Maven SDK tool. So we just need to create this command line for that. And we are going to choose the Alfresco Share jar archetype because we are going to extend this application. We are going to choose the latest version because we are going to develop that for the latest version of ACS 7.1. We can pick a name for the group ID and a name for the artifact. Site member, probably some better name. And with that, we have created the base project in order to start developing this extension. We can open that from an IntelliJ IDEA or some other ID you want. And we are going to get the initial extractor of the product. Remember that we have two main input data, that is the widget ID and also the path of the file we want to extend. So we are having some default files with that we don't need. We are not going to code Java. On the main part, again, we are not going to code Java. And on the resource part, we are not going to create any JavaScript, so we don't need this folder. This folder is containing the main properties for the project, so we need also this folder leaf. We are not going to use messages. We are going to create an extension, so we need this folder, but we don't need this file. We are going to create a new one, and we don't need also this one because we are going to create our own extension in this case. So let's start with the extension declaration for the Spring Sharp. So we can create an extension file, an XML extension file. And inside this file, we are going to declare that we want to extend this specific path. Remember that this is the original path from Alfresco containing the header, the share header get.js file that we want to extend. After that, we need to map this original path to some custom path that in our case will be org alfresco custom. So in the webscript folder, in the site webscript folder, we are going to create a new folder with custom. And inside that, we need to create the specific name of the file we want to extend. That in this case, it was share header get yes. So we have this file, and this file is having it's including the model JSON we want to modify. So in order to modify that, we are including this this code that is getting the references, finding the reference for our header site members widget, and we are applying a condition. If the user is not part of the administrator group, then we are going to remove this link from the page. So with this line, we are removing this widget from the original JSON model when the user is not part of the administrators group. So with that, we have enough. We don't need anything else. So we are extending this package to a custom package, and this specific file is also adding some additional conditions on the page. So after that, just package the extension, just building the extension, and we are going to find the extension on the target folder. That is this one. So we can deploy this extension in an Alfresco deployment on this share web application part, and we can see how that works, or if that works for our requirement. Once we build the project, we have the share jar module on the target folder. We can copy that to a deployment. In my case, that was a Docker Compose deployment. So I have that share modules jar folder with the module deploy inside. So once this is running, we can just test how that works and if our extension is working as we expected. Let's start by logging with the administrator user. This user is part of the Alfresco administrator group. So we are expecting to see that link on the site dashboard. So the site members link should be present there. So that's fine, and that's expected. And we can see that we have some other member in this site that is test, that is also manager of the site. Even being manager of the site, we are expecting the link not to be present on that, because we added that condition in order to show the link only for Alfresco administrators. So if we go in again the site, we are expecting not to have the link on this position, that site members link. Okay, so it's gone. So our extension worked as expected. Remember that we were creating an extension for the share web application today. You have all the source code available in this project, and it was just identifying the page we wanted to extend. After that, once we knew that the extension was an iCal page, we create this SARF extension with the original path to our custom path, and we create in our custom path a file with the same name we want to extend, and we were just accessing the JSON model of with the widget structure of the page, and we added a condition to remove this element, this widget from the page under some condition that in this case was that the user was not admin. I hope this was useful, and we are continuing with this series. We expect to have a long series related with some requests from you in the Alfresco Community Hub. So till the next time, bye bye.